We were just able to create a major scale starting on G using only our ear to guide us. But why did that work? Well, to answer that question, let's take a closer look at the pattern of half steps and whole steps we had in our scale. And let me bring us back to the state where we started. Let me get rid of the adjustment that we made with our ear, that F sharp. And let's take a look at the pattern of half steps and whole steps that we have in our scale going from G up to G. So between G and A, we have a whole step. Between A and B, we also have a whole step. Between B and C, we have a half step. Between C and D, we have a whole step. Between D and E, we have a whole step. Between E and F, we have a half step. And between F and G, we have a whole step. By the way, if you're wondering how can I get those answers, whole and half, so quickly, well, look at our piano keyboard. Remember, visually, the piano keyboard tells us where the whole and the half steps are. So between G and A, we have two white notes with a black note in between. We know that's a whole step. Between A and B, we have two white notes with a black note in the middle. We know that's a whole step. Between B and C, we have a half step because there's no black note in the middle. Between C and D, we have a whole step because there's a black key in the middle. Between D and E, black key in the middle, whole step. E and F, no black key, that's a half step. And F and G, black key in the middle, that's a whole step. Notice how the pattern of whole and half steps that we have in our scale starting on G aligns almost exactly with the pattern of whole and half steps that we have in our C major scale. Between scale degree 1 and scale degree 2, whole step. Between 2 and 3, whole step. Between 3 and 4, half step. Between 4 and 5, whole step. Between 5 and 6, whole step. Between 6 and 7, here's a discrepancy. In our original scale, we had a whole step. In the scale that started on G, we have a half step. And then same between 7 and 8. We had a half step. In the C major scale, we had a whole step in the scale that we had starting on G. But notice what we did. When our ear told us to raise that F to an F sharp, we brought those two things into alignment. All of a sudden, while E to F is a half step, E to F sharp is a whole step. So that half step became a whole step. At the same time, that F sharp brought the distance between scale degree 7 and scale degree 8 a little bit closer. So F sharp to G is no longer a whole step, that's actually a half step. So by making that one adjustment, by making that adjustment of the F to the F sharp, we brought the distance between scale degree 7 and scale degree 8 into alignment, and the distance between scale degree 6 and scale degree 7 into alignment. So we fixed two problems with one sharp. This pattern of whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half is going to be our key to unlock any major scale, to create any major scale on any note of the keyboard. And the next video, we'll explore that in a little bit more detail.